Compas.
Yeah, we are.
There you go.
Hey.
There you go. Okay, all right. We got proof right there.
Some guy that seems like he's asleep. Need you to wake up, Gilbert. There's a lot of energy.
Come on,
going
Gilbert.
here.
Let's go.
Come on. Dan and Daygo is at Moe's.
I'll show you. I'll show you. I got it right.
Okay, that's it. You guys, I am done with mine, but that's pretty much it. Couldn't get better than a 2026 6th-round pick swap for a 7th-rounder. So
Freaking love you, Chad.
Hey, dude. Cool, man.
Compas on the beat, man. Derwin James signing off, man. Watch Compas on the beat, man.
Welcome to Compas on the Beat. I'm Fernando, or what's up, Bolts? I'm Fernando Ramirez. Here to talk a little bit about the 53-man roster for the Chargers that just came out a couple hours ago. Definitely interesting to see all the reaction from fans as of late. I know there's some frustration. I know there's a lot of question marks about why they did what they did. I can tell you right now, this was like predicting the NCAA basketball. I mean, brackets were broken instantly. I don't think anybody had the Chargers bringing in 3 undrafted free agents, cutting 2 running backs, and placing a 3rd-round draft pick that they thought was the future of their team and so could be the future of their defense, a guy that knew the system, that was comfortable with the coordinator and everything, and placed him on IR. His sophomore year is now done. I'm sure there's a lot of question marks on this team, but I kind of see the madness, I guess, of what Jim and Joe Hortiz are doing over with their team. Right off the bat, obviously Taylor Heineke cut quarterback, obviously, so that means Trey Lance wins the job. Trey, I thought, outperformed Taylor. Taylor did not look comfortable at all this year in training camp, during practices, any of that. So he struggled. Trey, with his arm, wasn't much better, but I mean, again, that was the backup offensive line that really didn't give him any time. He was able to move, scramble, make some plays with his legs. So you got to be very impressed with that. Rocket Sanders and Kamani Vidal both get cut. See, the interesting part about that is that I thought Rocket Sanders had a good preseason, but then the biggest story and the biggest surprise, and I don't think a lot of people expected this. I actually was one of the few, and I said it last week with Chris when we had him on the show, with Chris Rim from ESPN. I said I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't activate Najee, and everybody kind of gets thrown for a loop, and everybody's kind of like, oh wait, what? So they activated him. Well, and then on the broadcast on Saturday, you hear general manager Joe Hortiz say, yeah, he's getting close. And that's the thing, is that's what I've been saying in the past, that former players have told me, yeah, you guys don't see what happens behind closed doors. Like, some of us are getting ready, some of us are really working out, but I digress, obviously. But that's why I told Chris I wouldn't be surprised if they activated him. So now all 3 running backs, Najee Harris, Omarion Hampton, and Hassan Haskins, are they're ready to go. We'll see what happens with them. But the running back, again, what I was surprised at is both of those guys getting cut. And I mean, like I said, that was a little bit of a surprise, but I don't know if they're done tinkering there yet. And that's where I kind of go with all this. I don't think Joe is done. Like, they're number 22 on the waiver wire. They need help at different places, but we'll keep on going with the rest of the roster, and then I'll get into why I think that they're not done yet. But before we move on any further, let us bring in somebody who I know is going to be a little frustrated with a certain move that happened, because he's his boy also. So let's bring in Dan and Daygo.
How are we doing? I guess there was no music. How's everybody doing?
No, there was music.
Oh, I guess I just didn't hear it on my end. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why we let go of Tony Jefferson. I wasn't happy with that, but I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and find out what's on the field. That's the only reason, again, I'm sick and tired of all the offseason stuff. I just want to get to week 1. Let's see who's on the team. Let's see how they perform. I hate all the projections. I hate all this stuff. I hate the uncertainty. I just want to see what we're looking like week 1, dude.
Angie says, hi, Dan. I wasn't happy about Jefferson.
Exactly, Angie. Neither was I. I was very upset about that.
We'll get into Tony in a little bit. Angie, I'll get to your question right now when we move along a little bit more. But wide receiver, self-explanatory, and that's what I wrote. My bad, I forgot fullback. Scott Madlock, he's a fullback, and then he's an extra defensive tackle just in case they need him. So Harbaugh loves him. They love the addition of him, so there's no way that's going to change. So there you go. Fullback done. Wide receiver, no surprises. I know some people got an alert that Trey Harris was put on the PUP, but the Chargers did not place him on the PUP. They did not. He's still on the roster. It seems like he's ready to go until something else happens further down the line. But I think today was the day to do a movement like that. But it seems like he's ready. Tight ends. See, Tucker Fisk was the surprise here. Dan the Gardener, hell yeah.
Maybe I look like Bolt God or Mortal Kombat guy or whatever.
Yeah, it was Bolt God. Shout out to him. It was cool hanging out with him in Washington, D.C. that one year. Tight ends, Will Dissly, no surprise. Tyler Conklin, no surprise. Oronde Gadsden, known. Tucker Fisk. See, the interesting part about Fisk is now I'm wondering if Fisk was left on the team as like the long snapper because he was a long snapper when Josh Harris got hurt. Josh Harris was put on IR. I thought that was very surprising as well. In 4 weeks without a long snapper, it'll be interesting if it's Tucker Fisk or if they decide to bring in somebody else who's out there. And I think the Packers just let go of their high-priced long snapper. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers went after something like that. I know that this Ryan Ficken and all these guys really value special teams hard. So now let's get to the offensive line, obviously. The biggest surprise to me was they released Branson Taylor, their 6th round draft pick. And you're kind of like, wow, okay. So they Dan, that told me, and again, you're an offensive line guy, but that told me they have no patience for that right now. Like they know they need to get it going. They know they need bodies that are serviceable, that have experience playing, and that at a moment's notice, at a drop of a hat, they need to go in. And Branson was just not doing it. He didn't do it at left guard. He didn't do it at left tackle, and he wasn't doing it at right tackle. I think they'll bring him back I think he'll be brought back as a practice squad, and maybe they'll develop him that way. But I just do not see them wanting that. And Dan, this is the position right here where I think they're going to go out and still try and go get a guy or two, claim them on waivers. If they're allowed to, because I just read somewhere that the Titans are going to put in multiple waiver claims for certain players. But I mean, offensive line to me, Dan, is still the position that everybody has a question mark on.
100%. It's the part you have to shore up because, again, you got Justin Herbert wearing a leg sleeve out with Madison Beer, and I guess his legs are getting weak when he's with her. So you have to really make sure that you keep him upright to where he feels safe enough to take off that damn leg sleeve. So 100% you have to shore that up because if you don't have a better run game this year, you're going to become one-dimensional, and that's when teams pin their ears back and they try and get after it to try and take out Justin. So 100%. And, you know, the best part to me about them cutting, and I don't want to say the best part because obviously he lost his job and all that. I get it. Yada, yada, yada. Totally get it. But to me as a fan, like the best part is, oh, okay, we're not just settling like, hey, we drafted this guy. We're going to keep this guy and see what he's got. You know, like in years past they did, and they sometimes kept him too late. But, you know, it's good to see that they're not just kind of sitting on their hands saying we're good enough now. So, yeah, I definitely like that they're willing to go out and make some moves, even though like they're willing to always look to get better. So I like that.
My most underrated position, defensive line. The Chargers have multiple players there that they really like. Man, I'll give credit to where credit's due. I didn't think Tito Ogbanya was going to make this team back in April. I thought, okay, they brought Naquan Jones in. They drafted Jamari Caldwell. They brought in Deshaun Hand. They kept Tier Tart. I thought Tito Ogbanya was not going to make this team. And this offseason, he really made a jump. And the jump that you really want to see from a defensive lineman. And he looked very solid during practice. He looked very solid during he played, and he looked like he had taken that next step. I was really impressed with him a couple of practices, but again, I really thought what Naquan did against San Francisco. I thought Deshaun Hand has shown some good. Jamari Caldwell is the guy that I remember. I asked Jesse Minter, who's somebody that you're looking forward to watching. I think it was after the Detroit game, so the New Orleans Saints game, and he said, "Oh, I really want to see Jamari play." Boom, gets a sack that game. So I think there's a lot of untapped potential here in the defensive line where I think a lot of these guys could make some decent plays. And again, Dan, I know a lot of people were very frustrated when Puna Ford left the Chargers for the Los Angeles Rams. And I actually spoke to Puna Ford. I have an article coming out next Wednesday or Thursday, guys. Thursday. Be on the lookout for that. I spoke to him and he said it was tough. It was tough to leave the Chargers. I love those boys. I still talk to them. But again, I think these guys, I think this defensive line is going to be a lot better than what people think, Dan. And that's where it all starts, right? Offensive and defensive line.
You have to control the line of scrimmage. You've seen too many times in years past.
Eric doesn't think so.
Well, that's because he's mistaken. He's too stuck in the skies with all these skill players trying to score touchdowns. The biggest thing, right? And I think the Eagles proved it. Like, I don't know how many more times we're going to go in circles around about this. Like, they controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football against the Chiefs. And look what happened. They put them up for 40. And even their backups and third stringers got to get into a Super Bowl. So 100%, you have to shore that up. You know, like I said, I'm not worried about the defense. I think they're going to continue to stride and get better. The offense just needs to put up at least 20 points a game or a little bit more because
I think 27 to 30
to 10 to 15 or so points that they were putting up last year is not going to cut it.
Yeah, no, because especially with all the talent that you have now in that receiving room. And again, I know it's going to take Trey Harris and KLS a little bit to kind of get in that rhythm because they've been playing against 3s, 4s, even some 2s. But they definitely need to get it going because you're going to be playing against some very good cornerbacks, Trent McDuffie's going to line up against you week 1, potentially at some point. Christian Fulton is going to line up against you potentially. We know he was with the Chargers last year. So yeah, I definitely agree with you, Dan, about the defense. Edge rushers, no surprise here. Caleb Murphy played well. He made the team. My only question is, I think Caleb Murphy's ahead of Kyle Kennard. I don't think Kyle Kennard really showed much during preseason. I think he's going to be a guy that they're going to have to coach up. He might be the guy that is expendable and he doesn't dress for the game. And Caleb Murphy's the fourth backer, outside linebacker out there with Bud Dupree, Khalil Mack, and Tui Pelotu. The surprise here, Dan, and I mentioned it at the top. I don't know if you've heard of this, Dan, yet or not. Junior Colson was sent to IR. He is done for the year. He will not be playing. He will not be playing this season. I know you were at practice. It is too early to give up on Junior. Angel, I do agree. But it is now 2 years of last year.
In a row.
Yeah, last year he had the appendicitis. He came in late. They kind of threw him into the fire. You know, some players, they throw you into the fire and you try and see what you have. He was thrown into the fire and it didn't look like he could really hang in there. So that was kind of rough. And then he missed, I think, part of he missed a good stretch of the season last year as well. This year, he does have a little bit of he does have preseason football. He's out there with the 3s and the 4s. And then obviously now they put him on IR. So his season now, Dan, is officially done. Marlowe Wax does end up making the team. The Chargers kept 4 linebackers. Delshawn Phillips, who missed a lot of camp, but he was penciled in as a special teams ace. I know Ryan Ficken the other day basically said they're really excited about him and they really like him. Well, now he's been cut, so there's 4 there. I still believe there's going to be some movement here. I think there's going to be some movement when it comes to the linebacker group. I don't think they'll stick with 4. I'd be very surprised. But you saw you liked what you saw from Marlowe, didn't you, Dan? You liked his energy and his recognition. Yeah, Wax.
Dude, are you kidding me? That guy was making a play every other play. Like, what are we even talking about? That guy looked really good in the last preseason game that I saw. So definitely you need, like Coach Harbaugh says, competitors welcome. So we'll see how he does if he actually gets any reps and all that stuff. But he looked really good in the I was about to say the scrimmage. He looked really good in the preseason game and everything else. So I can't wait to see what happens.
And nobody knows what happened to him yet. Harbaugh obviously hasn't said much about him. I'm sure he's going to be asked about it tomorrow during his press conference. Jim is, and we'll see if he says anything. We'll get into the Rocket Sanders and everything at the end of this. We're just kind of going quickly through the roster, and then we will do the overall big picture. Dan, cornerback, Cam Hart, Dante Jackson, Benjamin St. Just, who not a lot of fans are high on, Tarheeb Still, and Jazir Taylor make the team. Dan, 7 cornerbacks actually make this team. Nico Reed, the undrafted free agent out of Oregon. Dan, this kid had no invite to the combine. What was it? One of the journalists that covers the Oregon Ducks, he basically put
his stat line.
Yeah, and he put Wax. Oh no, this was on Wax. Let me go to Nico Reed. No combine invite, undrafted. Hell of an accomplishment for making this roster. Dan, I think it's crazy to even see that no combine. I mean, most of these guys, because of the combine, that's where they make it here. But this guy, no combine, and he ends up making it on the Chargers' radar. Eric Rogers, Dan, was that other corner, the one that had the 2 picks against the New Orleans Saints, and then he was on crutches after the game.
Oh my goodness.
He's 6'2". I know that Jim kind of has a thing for those long, lengthy corners. So I'm not surprised that they kept him. And Dan, you know what? I was thinking about this. I was like, would Jim really trust 2 rookie cornerbacks to go out there and in case if an injury happens or whatever? But then I thought about it and I'm like, well, he did last year.
Yeah.
And
they were starters.
And Cam Hart, and they were starters, and they're kind of starters this year. The only thing is, Jazir Taylor still made the team. He's a gunner, but I'm wondering if he's kind of the expendable one out of the corners, because there's a reason they kept Eric Rogers and there's a reason they kept Nico Reed. My opinion is Eric Rogers is still on the crutches, and they're going to place him on some kind of list in the next couple of days to kind of stash him away. And now, obviously, I'm no expert. I don't play one on TV, but I think they may stash him and keep him somewhere safe, and then they go get some other player or something. Like I don't know. He was still on crutches. So the last time we saw him. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Robert D, when you head over there, tell oh my God. I'll tell you in a second. I completely spaced right now. Dan, safety. I know here's where you got frustrated. Derwin James, Alohi Gilman, RJ Minkins, Elijah Molden, Kendall Williamson made it the 3rd-year safety over Tony Jefferson. Thoughts on that?
I don't want to get into it too much because I've already talked about a certain safety enough, and I'm just over it. I really don't understand. I think Tony's a better tackler. I think he has a better feel for the ball. He made some great plays during preseason and everything else. You know, he's a vet, year 2 of the same system. So I'm not happy about that, really. I mean, unless they bring him back on the practice squad. I think last year he stepped up huge when he got his number called. So I'm not really happy about that. I'm a big Tony Jefferson guy. I remember with the Cardinals when he was walking, I wanted the Chargers to sign him, ends up going to Baltimore. So I'm not really happy about that. But I mean, again, I'm not in those rooms, so I don't know what stood out. I'm not at every practice or at everything. So, I mean, again, you just got to wait to see what happens week 1 because, you know, like I said,
in the next few days when they do their practice squad.
Yeah, exactly. So you just got to wait to see what happens, I guess.
Guys,
I'm not trying to shit on players before we.
No, I know.
Into the season.
Guys, from what I know, Tony's family lives in San Diego, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna be a Charger. I think it'll be a practice squad. Brett loves the hat, Dan.
I appreciate it, Brett. I can't see the comments though.
Slam Diego.
Who cares? I don't care about baseball. Thank God football's back. Real Madrid.
Robert D. Tell Jake I say corn dogs. Tell him.
Corn dogs, Jackie.
Yeah,
corn
exactly.
dogs.
Tell him that when you go over there. Tell him I say corn dogs. We're only going to be on a couple more minutes, guys, because Dan needs to.
I need to go home. I need to go home.
But Dan, okay, so let's jump up. Obviously, kicker Cameron Dicker, J.K. Scott. Dan, let's go back to the running back situation. Najee Harris activated. What did I tell you, Dan, last week?
Yeah. He's going to be good to go.
There's something that tells me that this is A-okay, if you know what I mean. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Trying to play a little psyops.
Exactly. Maybe he's a Cyclops now.
Oh my God. Whatever works.
No, but I don't think they would put him out there if he's not ready to go. I think I'm interested to see what he's going to look like in Brazil. But again, what's his name? Angel, I do think he's going to play. You don't keep the 3 and let go of Rocket Sanders and some of these other guys if you're not going to use him. I mean, why would you activate him from the PUP? Why not just put him on the PUP, you stash him, and you keep Rocket Sanders? And remember, Joe Hortiz throws out stuff like you guys think he's lying, but then other times he's telling the truth. That's what happens. And I think he was telling the truth on Saturday, and he said Najee's close to coming back. And now Najee's back, and I think that's I think those are their 3 running backs. I think those are the 3 running backs. Maybe they can go get Sanders back. I think Vidal will be back. I think Sanders is going to be the one that they really go. But guys, if they really thought, I mean, they're going to say this tomorrow. Rocket Sanders is somebody that we did not want to let go. Neither Kimani Vidal. We wanted them both, this, that. But look at what they did with Eric Rodgers, Nico Reed, and Marlowe Wax. If you really think they're special, you're going to keep them. I know you guys think they're special, but they don't see that. They saw that Rocket Sanders is expendable. They saw, hey, I could go get somebody else that can do what Rocket Sanders can do. And that's kind of the point that I kind of try, and I've learned over the years about what the way teams operate. And obviously a guy like Jim Harbaugh and Joe Hortiz, they're very calculated with everything they do. Obviously last year, everybody was frustrated. Brendan Rice was cut. We're kind of at that same point again where Brendan didn't show anything last year. He didn't show anything this year. Like, I understand the frustration and I get it. You guys fall in love with players, but the team doesn't see it like that. The team sees it as these are our best guys. Man, I'm telling you, I have never been around an organization or a team like this where there were so many surprises today when the 53-man roster came out. Phillips, Kimani Vidal, Rocket Sanders, I as soon as Najee Harris came out, I expected that move to happen. I thought, okay, they're going to keep 3. And all 3 are obviously going to suit up. Now, if Rocket Sanders clears waivers, see, that's the thing you guys are going to have to notice too. What if he does clear waivers? Then you're going to start thinking, well, maybe he wasn't. Maybe the league didn't view him the way we did. So I'm just saying, like, no, I think the Sanders thing will be wrong. Well, no, and Robert D, that's great. I mean, if you think my bad, and let me put it up there. He said, "Sorry, Fern. I think the Sanders thing they will be wrong. He played good enough to still be here."
Oh,
I get it, but they didn't feel like he played good enough, or not play that he didn't play good enough. It didn't warrant them needing him to be here. That's what I'm saying. Like that, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I'm not defending them. I'm not defending their decisions. I'm just saying, like, there's a reason they do stuff sometimes. And yeah, sometimes they miss, sometimes they hit, but I don't think they've given you guys a reason to say, yeah, no, they made a mistake or they've done this or they've done that. I think last year, most of their guys ended up, the guys that they kind of got rid of, everybody noticed, oh yeah, you know what? That was a correct move. But again, I still think they're going to be very active in the next few days when it comes to waivers and everything. I think they're gonna go grab guys. I think they're still gonna do stuff. Dan, I know you remember. I remember last year you were really surprised when they went to go get Elijah Molden, Taylor Heineke. They got Hassan Haskins on waivers. They got a bunch of guys in waivers because you weren't used to all the activeness.
The movement,
yeah. And that kind of brings you excitement, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%. Because it says we're not settling. And that's the biggest comfort is the biggest enemy of everyone, right? So the fact that they're not settling, I think, is a positive. Obviously, we're going to have to wait and see who's out there, or what moves they make, and how they play. So, again, just get me to week 1. I can't wait. Let's just get to the regular season.
Yeah, there's a lot of offensive linemen out there. There's some cornerback help that I've seen, but obviously they have a bunch. But there's some players out there that I'm sure they're going to put in for. So, and I get it. I get the frustration with Sanders, but again, you guys have to remember they're playing against 3s, 4s.
Yeah,
we really didn't get to see Rocket Sanders against 1. So that's kind of another thing, or 2s. That's kind of the thing where I feel like preseason a little misleads us a little bit. No, and I get that, King Rye. He said Rocket Sanders played bully ball when the running back running that rock. But King Rye, you already have 2 running backs that are going to play bully ball. Hell, 3. That's the kind of ball that Najee Harris and Hassan Haskins or Omarion Hampton kind of play. They both play bully ball. And then Hassan Haskins kind of runs like that too, in a sense. He runs kind of thick, and he's not afraid to throw his shoulder in there. So just again, my thoughts on the roster and everything. And again, I think they're going to be fine. They're going to be very active. Again, Taylor Heineke doesn't make it. Trey Lance does. I thought Trey Lance outplayed him. Do you think they kept any specific player to trade? No, Angel. I don't think right now they're in a position to trade players away. I think they want to keep all the players that they have because they're still a growing team. They're not set yet, if that makes any sense. They're a team that still has holes that they need to plug. I think right now, I think right now they're pretty good where they are, but I get it, King Rye, but they're really focused on this year. And it seems like with Rocket Sanders, he'd be another guy like Kimani Vidal was last year, where not really called up on and doesn't really play. So again, just my 2 cents on all that. Guys, Dan and I will be back next week and by the way, I saw a jackass in the comments there last time that Dan and I were on here, and he said, "Oh, you never let your co-host speak." Dan, can you talk about that? Can you just
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up to date. I got a lot of shit going on. So obviously he's the expert. He's in the building. I'm not. So it's just funny to me again when clearly if he's speaking more, just as a FYI, as a listener, it's because he has more knowledge than I do. Okay. I'm the let's watch a game and let's talk about certain skill sets and things like that type of guy. He's a storyline guy. So that's the tag team that we have here. And fuck, I'm exhausted, man. It's been a long day. You know what I mean? So
what's Hilberto?
Oh, I don't get to wake up by brunch and go get a nice little coffee and my breakfast.
Yeah, and before we sign out, I do want to hit you with this just so that you feel a little bit of
I still need to watch those clips. I've missed a few of those. Dude, you know what's funny? I hate to say this because I'm an America guy, but it needs to go to Europe and be a European.
I know, for real.
It's so much better.
I don't know about this. Robert Dan is the bullshitter of the team. He really is. We love it. He's great. Hey, we appreciate it, King Rye. We love you guys too. We appreciate all you guys.
King Rye, shout out.
We are lucky because Gilbert has fumbled the negotiations a couple times, and we're still lucky Dan is here. But
I appreciate it.
Robert D, do not forget. Go tell Jake I say corn dogs, guys. Appreciate you guys. Next week, guys, we will be back next Wednesday. Make sure you guys tap in Wednesday evening. We will be back. The game's Friday, so we'll be doing the preview Wednesday. I'll be going to Chargers on Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, and so we'll have a bunch of stuff ready for you guys next Wednesday. The NFL season is here. The 53-man roster, the initial 53-man roster is out. Football is back, guys. After Labor Day, you guys know there's no interruptions until February. So football is back. Get excited. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget, next Wednesday, be back here. We will have the preview ready to go. Dan, why don't you get us out of here?
Be a compa, tell a compa, smash the like button. Have a great rest of your week and weekend, everybody.
Be safe, everybody, on this Labor Day weekend, and get ready because football is back.